Fe. So I am here with a pregnancy update. It is Monday, June 2nd, and if you watched my last vlog, I said that I probably wouldn't be back until my first ultrasound on Thursday, June 5th, unless anything happened. So, guess what? Nothing seems to kind of go smoothly for me, so I should be used to this by now. Alright, so over the weekend I did have some problems, and here's your TMI warning, because this is filled with TMI. I can't really do anything about that. I started to have some gray colored discharge late on Friday, actually. I would say late Friday afternoon. I wasn't home from work yet. And it slowly turned to tan, and then it kind of turned to a dark brown. And the odd part is at that point I wasn't really calling it spotting because there was nothing on my liner. It was only on the toilet paper when I went to the bathroom. And it didn't have any clots or anything like that. It really just looked like discolored discharge. There wasn't anything in it. So Saturday it continued, and it was strange. There were times where it had gotten worse, like there was more of it, and then an hour later it was like almost gone, and then it would come back, and then it would go away, and again, still nothing on the liner, until Saturday night, right before I went to bed. There was a rather large clot that fell out of me, and it soaked through the liner. So at that point I was a little bit scared, and then I knew I had to call. I was really hoping I was going to be okay until Monday, because I really didn't want to deal with an on-call nurse. I really like the nurses that I have. I know that sounds kind of goofy, but that's what I was hoping for. And that obviously wasn't going to be the case. When I woke up on Sunday morning, I really expected to have a serious problem. And I didn't. Again, there was nothing on the liner, nothing there. But when I went to the bathroom, there was, I don't know, 4 or 5 drops of blood that went into the bowl, into the water. So I really couldn't tell you what the color was. But again, at that point, I started getting dark brown spotting on the liner again. And this time it had kind of really small, stringy clots in it. Not a lot, here and there. And an hour later, again, it was like it went away. And it kept coming back and going, coming back and going. So I would say about 11 a.m. on Sunday, I did call. I told them what was going on. Luckily, the on-call nurse was one of my nurses, so that made me happy. And she said that she felt, based on my description, that it was probably coming from the cervix, not from the uterus. And that it was common, but to figure out exactly where the blood was coming from and, to ease the mind and whatnot, she said that I should come in today, Monday, this morning, and do blood draw and ultrasound to try and figure everything out, and that my doctor would actually be doing the ultrasound. So I went in this morning, and by that time I had kind of calmed myself down. I knew that it could be one of many different things. There was a lot of responses I got on Facebook that helped calm me down. So at this point I was just kind of going with the flow. And I went in, and first thing he did was check my cervix. My cervix is closed, so that's good. But the blood, while some of it appears to be from the cervix, some of it also appears to be from the uterus. And that is because my one bean, there is one, we have verified that, is 30% detached from the uterus. Now, I wasn't entirely clear on how they could tell that. Something having to do with just the way the ultrasound looked. There's this white section that's around the gestational sac that kind of, I don't know what that represents, but he seemed pretty positive that it was 30% detached fairly quickly, and that there was a little bit of blood left in the uterus that may or may not come out. That is a result of it detaching, not the actual lining. So they put me on a week bed rest. Technically, I am 5 weeks and 5 days, and here I am on bed rest. I'm on my couch. This is couch rest for me. Bed rest probably isn't a good idea because my bed is on my second floor and my bathroom is on my first floor, so that just didn't sound like the right thing to do for me. So I am on my comfy couch, and I'm okay with that. But he put me on bed rest because he said that this is a sign of threatening miscarriage. Yes, I said the nasty, nasty M word there. And I was okay until he said that word, and then I kind of freaked out a little bit on him. At that point, I started asking a lot of questions. And really all it comes down to is it's anyone's game right now. They can't say for sure that that's what's happening because I don't have any cramps, or not any cramps that I can tell. And I say that because they've got to be really bad for me to really recognize that they're there. I feel a lot of like little aches and pains down there, but when I described it to them, those are normal. They are muscular, round ligament type pains, which I assumed they were. So I was right on that part. Other than that, I really haven't felt any pains that would imply something is wrong. So they want to do the bed rest to try and just give it its best shot. They don't want my uterus moving around at all. So that means I have to plant my butt on this couch for a week. And they're hoping that next week the growth continues to be on schedule, because it was on schedule. They did see a yolk sac in there. Thank the Lord. That is the one thing that I was praying we were going to see, that we were going to see something in that sac. I really, really needed that because of my history. So I am happy about that. Apparently, I am capable of growing people and not just empty gestational sacs. So that makes me happy. So as long as that progresses properly, they should be able to see a fetal pole next week. And they're hoping that my numbers continue to be okay. Right now, I do not have the results of the blood test from this morning. If I get that before I post this video, I'll tack it on to the end. Otherwise, maybe I'll just put up a quick words only video. I'm not sure. I'll let you guys know somehow. But as long as those numbers are still okay, and as long as they continue to be okay next week and we see fetal growth, then they may consider partially releasing me, like with restrictions. Luckily, I'm a programmer at work, so I can make things work at work. I can just, keep my butt in my office, and if people need me, they need to come to me, and they'll just have to deal with that. So I can do that, or I don't know. If the bed rest continues, then my work may just have to let me work from home, which I also can do, but my company's not into that kind of thing right now, so we'll see how that goes. So, other than that, I will say that after I finish asking all of my questions, the doctor, he looked me square in the face and he said, okay, 3 things. 1, no crying. 2, stay positive. And 3, sit still. So it's nice that he's kind of an approachable doctor that way. So that's good. But at the same time, it really was kind of hard to read my doctor, because I think he was just trying to be careful with what he said so that he didn't mislead me. I mean, he didn't seem overly worried, but he did seem a little concerned. He wanted to make sure that I followed his no moving around instructions to the T. So I don't think I can really assume anything based on his reactions at the appointment. But I would be lying if it didn't say I wasn't a little bit concerned. Obviously, there is no way for them to know what caused this. They assume that, you know, a 30% detachment would be from uterine contractions, but I really haven't felt any. And I haven't been, you know, running marathons or doing anything that I shouldn't be doing. I mean, my husband will barely let me lift a fork. So, I don't know. I don't know. They're slightly concerned that the body may have started to detect something wrong with the embryo. And at that point, your body automatically miscarries eventually. That's why the risk is so high for miscarriage in the first trimester. And they told me, they said, you know, it's just like anybody else. You're not going to be out of the woods until 12 weeks. And even after that, because of the 30% detachment, you're going to have to be really careful because the 30% never comes back. It doesn't rebuild. It doesn't reattach. So, we'll see. Right now, I'm hoping and praying that there is nothing chromosomally wrong with my little bean. And that, I don't know, maybe he or she didn't quite implant or stick quite as well, but hopefully good enough. Because I don't see what would have caused that detachment. We'll probably never know. So, that's what I have. That's what I have. And like I said, when I get any more information, or if there's any changes in this, I will let you know. There is a chance that they might change my medicine, because they did notice that my progesterone dropped just slightly between beta 1 and beta 2, but they didn't really think anything of it at that time. So if the blood test from this morning shows another drop in progesterone, they may be changing that up. I don't know if they're going to add the suppositories or a different form of the progesterone. I had a slight issue with that in the past, and they did tell me that sometimes people stop responding to it and they have to use a different version. So I guess we'll see what happens with that too. Okay guys, so as soon as I finished recording this video, my phone rang. And I was quite surprised that they called me this soon. Normally I have to wait till like 4 or 5 o'clock. It's only like, I think it's like 2 o'clock now, so maybe they're being nice and I'm like first on the call list. But the blood test results are back, and my HCG is 13,628. So that is right on track. That's right where they want it to be, so that's good. My estrogen dropped a little bit, but that's because they lowered my dose slightly, and they are now upping it back to where it was, so that's being adjusted. My progesterone, though, did stay the same, so that's good. But as a precaution, in addition to the progesterone shots that I'm on, they also want me to take Prometrium, which is an oral pill. It's a little round pink pill, if you're not familiar with that. I've had those in the distant past because when I had my blighted ovum, I had a progesterone problem at the very beginning, and that's how they solved it. So I'm familiar with those pills. So that's the only thing that's changed. So I'm still on estrogen shots, I'm still on progesterone shots, I'm still on Estrace, which is the wonderful Smurf pill that goes up your girly parts, and they're now adding the Prometrium. I am still on metformin, and currently I'm still on the baby aspirin, but they said they were going to call me back on that one because they wanted to verify with the doctor if I should still stay on the baby aspirin given the current situation. So I may still get another call today about that. But those numbers are good. So hopefully hopefully this is all just a small bump in the road and everything will be okay. The other thing is, I realized I didn't show you guys the picture that I have, the ultrasound picture. Now, there's not a whole lot you can see on here because I'm really, really early. Through the video, you may not even be able to see the yolk sac because you've really got to look for it. But there is definitely something there. So, let's see. You look really close. You might be able to see it there. And the other one, like I said, it's really early. I'm only 5 weeks and 5 days, but I'm really happy that there is some kind of growth there and that it is on track and my numbers look good. The numbers are like only half of my mental battle because my numbers were good last time. So I kind of needed both. I needed the numbers and I really needed to see this. So, trying to keep positive. I'm going to keep praying and hopefully everything will be okay. Alright, that is officially all I have this time. So I will update you guys the next time something happens, or if I'm taken off of bed rest next week, or definitely any ultrasound pictures next week that show a fetal pole. I'll definitely put those on here. Alright, again, thank you for all your support, all your prayers, all your comments on Facebook. They mean the world to me. And thank you so much for following my story. And all of you new subbies, thanks for subscribing. There's been a whole bunch of them lately. I really appreciate every last one of you. Thanks. Bye.